Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 4 of of Who is the Early Season MVP. Episode 1 we had Joel Embiid, episode 2 Nikola Jokic, we had LeBron James last episode, and this episode we got Kevin Durant. You know, KD, he's 32 years old, coming back from an 18-month layoff with the Achilles injury. People thought he wouldn't be back to his best when he came back. Most people thought that he might come back to 80% of what he used to be. Love him or hate him, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that he's come back fully fit, 100%, back and ready to go. Obviously this season with the Brooklyn Nets, star-studded team, you got Kyrie Irving, and then they traded for former MVP James Harden. So you know it's not going to be easy for KD to win the MVP this year when you got teammates like them. You know it'll take some of the votes off you, but he's having an unbelievable individual season. As for the Nets, as a franchise, they're currently third in the East with a 14-9 record as this video is being filmed. Only the Sixers and the Bucks are ahead of them, so you know I fully expect the Nets to get out East and even come top East, but it doesn't even matter. The Nets can come third, fourth, fifth. I still expect this Brooklyn Nets team to get out East for sure, and they have to. Most people think it's championship or bust with this team. I wouldn't disagree that too much, you know. Finals at the very least, but championship or bust, there's a real argument for that. You know, trading for James Harden. But this is it for KD, a KD video, and let's get into his stats for this season. So far, he's averaging 30.8 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 5.2 assists per game. Also averaging 1.4 blocks per game, while shooting 53.3% from the field, 45.2% from 3, and 87.8% from the free throw line. Great stats, unbelievable really. Think about it, he hasn't been playing in the NBA for around 18 months. He comes back in his first season back from the Achilles injury, career-altering injury, and he's averaging 30 points per game, unbelievable. He's played 17 out of the 23 games so far this season, after missing, as I said, 18 months. So, of course, he's going to have to load manage a bit. You know, you can't not play basketball for, you know, over a year and then come back and play every single game. You know, he's got to load manage a bit, which could hurt him in the MVP race. You know, you got to be consistent playing games. You can't be load managing, but KD, he's got a reason to load manage. You know, he's coming back from a lengthy layoff. He's also shooting a career high 45.2% from 3, as I said, which is, you know, 45% career high for KD at 32, still improving. And he's also shooting that on 5 attempts a game. So, you know, 45.2% on 5 attempts, unbelievable. You know, KD, he's just an elite scorer, and his 3-point game is improving even more, which makes him even harder to guard, really. He only trails Bradley Beal in terms of points scored per game. You know, so Bradley Beal, he's averaging around 35 points per game, and KD 30.8. So KD only trails Bradley Beal in points a game, and his 68.4% true shooting percentage is the highest of any forward or guard has achieved this season. So you know, the 68.4% true shooting is the highest in the NBA, well, for guard and forward anyway. He is scoring an efficient 138.8 points. So you know, 130.8 points per 100 shots per 100 shot attempts. That's a mouthful there. But yep, very unbelievable stats. You know, and you gotta take. I can't keep saying it enough. You gotta take into account this guy's been playing 18 months. So you know, after KD suffered that Achilles injury, as I said, and he hasn't played in so long before the season, he's come back looking better than ever. You know, looking back to his very best. You couldn't really tell he suffered that Achilles injury, to be honest. You know, that's a career-altering injury for lots of players. But KD has come back, and you wouldn't tell he's been gone for so long. The only thing, when on the floor, the Nets have a plus-minus 12.8 points per 100 possessions, compared to a plus-minus of 7.6 without him. So you can see his impact on the team. Even with people like Kyrie Irving and James Harden, two unbelievable stars, MVP candidates in their own rights. Well, James Harden definitely, you know, they could take the spotlight away from KD, and you can see Kyrie's taking most of the shots, James Harden's doing most of the playmaking. KD, you know, he's not getting as much shots as he used to get. You know, he was used to it over the Warriors. He did well. He adapted well with the Warriors, but with the Nets, you know, it's not gonna be easy when you got personalities like Kyrie Irving and James Harden. You know, but he's fitting in well this role, and he's still putting up unbelievable numbers. And as I said, even after his injury, he has a usage rate of 32.3. A 32.3 usage rate, second highest of his career. So he's still getting plenty of time on the court. You know, even after the injury, and not missing too many games of low management either. So to win MVP, I think KD will have to lead the Nets to the top of the East for sure. You know, with such a great team, to win MVP, you've got to get your team to the top of the West East, and maybe even top of the NBA, maybe the best team in the league. So, because when you got a team like that, voters are gonna, they're gonna take votes off you and say you got two unbelievable teammates with you. So you got to get the Nets to the top of the East at the very least, if you want to win MVP this season. You know, and of course you have to keep these stats up as well, because like loads of other candidates like Joel Embiid and LeBron. So keep up these unbelievable stats, and he's in with a fighter's chance. And at 32 years old, with the Achilles injury, voters might just say, you know what, this is an unbelievable comeback story. We've got to vote for this guy. Some people, voter fatigue. People won't be voting for Giannis this year. They've had enough of him. LeBron, in my opinion, should have way more MVPs. People might just say, no, I'm not going for LeBron. Joel Embiid and Jokic haven't won it before, so they might just go for KD, go for the comeback story. Say this guy came back at 33 years old. They might just give it to him. So he's in with a chance. The only thing that could stop KD from winning MVP this year, as I said, is Kyrie Irving and James Harden. I'm not saying that they're a problem. Like in the long run and in the bigger picture, unbelievable to have a team like that. That's the definition of a big three: James Harden, Kyrie Irving, KD. But the only thing is, with Kyrie taking most of the shots, in the end of games, with James Harden, he can do that easily. He's done that his whole career, especially in Houston. He can do that. KD might just take a back seat and let those two guys do what they need to do in the regular season, and that could prevent KD from getting MVP. So it all depends on that. Voters might just say you've got Kyrie and James Harden in your team, making a vote for you. So that is a possibility. But looking at the bigger picture here, Kevin Durant even is averaging 30.8 points per game and career high shooting from three. He's having an unbelievable chance to win an MVP if he keep this up. An unbelievable comeback story. I'm not even a KD fan, right? Well, I'm not a KD fan. I'm not saying people might call him a snake what I do with OKC, but OKC and the Warriors didn't really affect me. It did, as I wanted LeBron to win, but that's the past now. But I'm not salty, I promise. But KD, if he had to win the MVP this year, if LeBron didn't win the MVP this year, I'd be happy to see KD win it. It's a good comeback story for sure. But do you guys think KD has a fighter's chance? They've got a fighter's chance of winning it, but you guys think he can win the MVP this year? Because there's some good candidates in here. We're 4 episodes in. We've got Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and LeBron. I think LeBron right now is the favourite for the award, but as I said, only a quarter of the way through the season. A long, long way to go. So tell me your opinions. Do you think KD can win the MVP this year? And if not, who do you think can? Anyway guys, thanks. That's the video. Thanks for watching. That's episode 4 now. Episode 5 coming out. We'll see who that 5th candidate is. And then the series is coming to an end, unfortunately. But yep, that's the video guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications, because we're going to get plenty of videos out here as often as we can. So yeah guys, with all that said, I'm out of here.